Guys. I'm just getting set up here. I had a little technical difficulties. So I'm just going to give you guys a few moments to get on to the live. If you could hear me okay, just give a thumbs up in the chat. Hello, Rhonda. How are you? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You can hear me okay? Perfect. Okay, so I'm so sorry for the delay. I don't know. This is why I don't go live because I always screw it up somehow. I actually had to like delete the one that I had on before, so I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, I can't find it." Um, I had the streaming. It was set up for streaming software, which I don't know how, because normally I usually do the webcam, but I quickly figured it out because I was like, I'm gonna get crucified if I don't come on this live today because I've been promising you guys this live forever. So welcome to the live. Yeah, okay, guys. Just as soon as you're checking in, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can shout out where you're watching from. Yeah, and then we'll just kind of jump into it. I hope you guys come prepared with your questions because this is like a Q&A live. I've been getting a lot of comments about certain things that I just kind of want to address them in like a more open setting because I know a lot of you guys have questions. Okay, Florida in the house. Welcome. My sister's in Florida. Hey. Okay, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Wow. You guys are all over. Okay, enrolled and even planning and even the course school coming blown up and coming. Okay, good job. Good job. Good luck with that. All the best. That's awesome. It's a really good career path. It's especially for people that are creative, people that want to, just kind of explore and try different things other than a 9 to 5. And if you do have a 9 to 5 that you already love, then this is a good source of income if you want to do it as a side job or something like that. So okay, good job. All right, hey, hey, from New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey, Sharonda, welcome. So yeah, guys, I've been promising this live. I can't tell. I think the last time I did a live, I might have just hit 2,000. And right now we're at 13,000 subscribers. So we are growing. And, even though I haven't been like consistently posting, um, I try my best to keep up with it for as long as I can. Life do get busy and sometimes, there's other things that we really have to just prioritize. So I'm glad for all the people that do stick around and, actually to just tune in every week or whenever I do post and watch my videos. And I appreciate all the feedback from you guys. And honestly, that's what really motivates me to keep posting these videos because I realize it's helping a lot of people. And it's the kind of like a support that I wish I had when I started out doing balloons. Not so much the event portion of it, but the balloons portion, because this was my outlet for learning balloons actually. um, and I went over this in my maybe my first or second live, but I know we've grown so much over the years, or over the year I should say. It's only been 2 years. Yeah, we've grown so much over the last year, and I know a lot of people are not really familiar with a lot of things. So I just wanted to kind of take some time out today since this week is not so crazy and just jump on here and just check in with you guys and answer some questions. So um I don't know if you're ready to like throw some questions at me, or if you don't have questions ready, I could maybe address some of the questions that I've seen in the comments. um a lot of those questions I've actually gone over in my previous live, but I don't know how much people are actually watching the live stream. So um Yeah, I don't know. So if you guys have any questions, you could just throw them in the comments section. You know, it's not a lot of you guys on here, so it'll be good to, be able to see the questions as they come in. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute or two to kind of throw your question in. And it doesn't have to be just about balloons. It could be about events in general. If you have any questions about event planning or, other aspect of that industry, you could throw them in there as well. Okay. So far no questions. So I'm gonna go over, and like I said, I've already gone over this, but since we've grown, I'm gonna just go in a little bit more about it. Just so the new followers. Um, One of the biggest questions that received in my comments is about pricing. And while you pricing can be different based off where you're located, I usually tell people in the beginning you want to start out on the lower side of the pricing scale. And when I say lower side, I mean like to give you a range in New Jersey where I'm at. It's usually for at least maybe 2 years or 3 years ago, it was starting out at like $15 a square foot. Um, it There's a lot of things that determine the price that you charge here for your balloons, and you know depends on the brand balloons that you're using, depends on the design that you're doing. If you're adding additional things like florals or um, instead of regular fillers, you're adding like the rope fillers, or like a lot of those things are going to impact what you price, how you price your garlands. So I would say the range in New Jersey, low end $15, and this is like you don't even have to start at 15, but I'm just giving you like this is $15 square foot is the extreme minimum that you should charge, and I would only charge that if I'm a beginner. If somebody that's not already confident and already on the expert level, you'll start there, or you could start at $20 a square foot. But the highest I've seen people charge in New Jersey right now is probably 35, $40 a square foot. And like I said, that will depend on your expertise, how long you've been doing it. Because at the end of the day, you're not just charging them just to put up a balloon. You're charging them for everything. The labor, your experience, the quality of the balloon that you're giving them, with the garland that you're giving them and stuff like that. So I can't really tell you exactly how to charge your clients. You know your worth, so you're gonna charge what you think you're worth. I've had people that worked with me in the past, and they determined their worth. They were like, "Well, you're not charging enough, and I'm charging this," and I'm like, "Well, go ahead and charge whatever you want to charge. I can't tell you just because you're new not to charge $35. Like that's not my way of doing things, but." If you're gonna charge $35, you better be able to deliver what you're charging. So that's how I look at it. Give yourself time. And also, if you're trying to build your portfolio, if you're on the lower scale, you'll get some jobs that will help you to build up your portfolio to the point where you could start, once you've gained enough experience and your work become better, then you could start charging more premium prices. But some people they think they learn as soon as they learn the craft, they want to go charge whatever all the other professionals are charging, and you're not on that level yet. So you just gotta pace yourself and know know your work, charge, so you have to pay yourself, but at the same time make sure if you're charging that type of pricing that you're able to deliver the work or the quality of work, because that could backfire on you and be really bad. We have people out there that are they don't play about their money, and if they're not satisfied, they will give you a hard time. So that's pretty much about the pricing. I would say if you're not sure, depending on what area you're in, what I did when I started out was just basically shop around, just reach out to a couple vendors in my area and just ask for a quote on a design. Like I'll send like a design and kind of just send out for a quote from each one and kind of just get a general idea of what they're charging, and then based off of what the general public is charging, then I'll try to fit myself somewhere in there. But also reminding myself that I'm new and um, I'm not on that level yet. So that's just a tip for you there. All right, let's see. Oh, how do you get your fear? How do you get past fear of doing big jobs? Oof. All right, let me tell you. I'm I don't know. I get nervous easily, and I've had some big jobs, and it was not easy at first, but I always remind myself that you're the professional. These people are booking you because they believe that you could do it. Or even if you, so sometimes you doubt yourself and you might not feel confident that you could do it, but other people see the potential, or sometimes you need that big job to really cement your name and say, okay, I'm on that level. I could do this. It's a little nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I don't. To be honest, it all depends on the person. Like for me, I get real nervous. Like it's for me when I do certain things, it's like I'm going on a job interview. I don't think anything get me as nervous as a job interview. It's my worst fear. And I feel like I always do horrible in them because I'm always in my head about it. So I feel like don't go in there doubting yourself. Don't go in there thinking that you're not going to be able to execute. I've been on a lot of jobs that were huge jobs that I have multiple people assisting me, and I get nervous and I get up in my head and they remind me like remember why they booked you and all these things. So yeah, I would say just don't get in your head too much. Just take a breather, just work calmly because when you're nervous, you tend to have get that anxiety and sometimes it doesn't really help the situation. So just be at a calm pace, go in with confidence, like you already know what you're doing because they already have that confidence in you. So you just have to have that confidence in yourself and know that you're going to go in and you're just going to um do what you got to do. All right, how to start a balloon and event decor business. Ooh, ooh, child. Okay, so on that topic, I'm gonna, because I've been posting about this in my videos and I've not actually introduced you guys to the book. So if you are interested in learning balloons, even though this one is geared more towards balloons and not so much event planning, I don't know if I'm gonna do it one on event planning. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm actually at a crossroad right now where I'm trying to figure out if I want to just dissolve that portion of my business, the event side of it, because it's been really slow and it's really hard to focus on both event planning and balloons at the same time. I do get a lot more balloon inquiry, a lot more balloon jobs, and I'm now starting to do a lot more corporate stuff. So um I don't know if I'm going to continue with the event part of it, but for now it's still there. But to be honest, I haven't really been booking a lot of events since the year started. I don't know if it's just the economy in general, people are so uncertain, they don't want to spend money, and I just know in general a lot of people are feeling it in the event business right now because people are not booking events. And I'm not going to say the market is saturated. It's saturated, but people are going to book you based off of your work. So if you have quality people who want quality stuff, they will pay for quality stuff. Some people right now, things are tight and they're gonna go for the best option, which is be the cheapest person that's available. Um, so yeah, if you want to learn how to start your balloon business, this is my book. This is a hard copy of the ebook. Okay. So this I have, it goes over everything. It goes over how to start your business, how to register your business, you know, how to market your business, marketing strategies, vendor lists of where you could purchase your balloons and like, popular vendors that you could use for other stuff like your backdrops and stuff like that. Um, if you're interested in the book, I could put a link in the comments if anybody's interested in it. But basically, it goes over pretty much everything that you need to know, um, as far as the literature part of it. Of course, you're gonna have to practice and learn how to do the balloons and actually, that part of it. But I would say to start, you just need to pick your niche of what you want to do. Um, are you doing balloons or are you doing events? Like, if you're doing events, what kind of events are you doing? Are you going to be doing kids' parties? Are you going to be doing like intimate parties, which would be like baby showers, sweet 16s, all of those little milestone stuff? Or are you going to be doing weddings? So you kind of have to pick a niche of what area of the event industry you want to do, because just doing like a wide range, it kind of just, you're just like lost in there. When you have like a niche, which I don't have a niche, and this is why I'm like, I don't know. But for me, I've been getting a lot more balloons. But you could do event planning and balloons. I've been doing it for years and it works fine for me. And actually, it's more money for me because now instead of me outsourcing my balloons to some third party, I keep all of that in house. So it's more beneficial to me to do that. But I've noticed that the balloon stuff been really like taking off from the jump. It was really the higher portion of my bookings, a lot of balloons, to the point where now people, when they go on my Instagram page, they think I'm just a balloon artist. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm not getting a lot of event bookings, because when you go on my Instagram, it's saturated with balloons. So people just assume, oh, she does balloons, or this is my balloon girl, or the event part of it is just like non-existent. And I did have somebody that I worked with before that told me, she was like, um, I didn't know you do events. She's like, I saw your page and I just thought you did balloons. I actually did her bridal shower. It was like a bridal shower. Yeah, bridal shower, because she came and did a consultation with me, and she didn't know that I did events. She thought I was just doing balloons. And I was like, no. But I'm like, that's what my page is giving. So now I just really got to figure out if I'm gonna have to split my page into two separate page, and just have a page just for balloons and a page just for events, and just kind of separate it that way, because right now it's really hard to tell, what I'm like, what's my niche and where I'm really focused on, or what I'm really focused on. All right, so man, I thought you guys were gonna come in here with the questions today. No questions? Come on, guys. Give me some questions. I know you guys been waiting a long time for this live. Throw some questions in there, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like up the live. Let's get conversation going. I don't know when I'm gonna be back on live, so this is your opportunity to ask your questions, and it could be about anything. So anything related to balloons or events. Um, no judgment. And just to want to throw it in there, I've actually started my balloon classes. Scheduled for the 29th of August with my third balloon class, in-person class. So that's been going good. So this I'm trying to see how to um kind of just figure out where I'm going next. So aside from me doing the balloon decor, I'm trying to now offer the classes. I haven't gone to the online route of that yet. I'm just trying to figure out how I would do that. Um, and I just feel like the online version is just not um, it's not as beneficial doing it in person. You get the hands-on experience. You could ask your question I mean, you could ask questions online too, but if I feel like, okay, if I'm doing online, it probably would have been more beneficial to do a one-on-one versus a group online, because I've seen people doing like the online classes, but it's a group, and I'm like, well, it doesn't really, it's just too much people to focus on in an online setting. Like, I feel like when you're having like a big group like that, then it should be in like a, in-person session or something like that. Because people are gonna have questions. My last class, we had to stop and teach people how to do things, make sure everybody understand what they were doing and all that stuff. So, it's a little bit more of like it's a better experience. And some people are just, hands on. Some people like me, I could just watch you do it, and I'll be able to practice and do it. But some people, that you need to show them how to do things. Otherwise they won't get it. All right. Do you do draping backdrops? And if so, how do you get started? So I would say I do drapings, but not on a professional level. Um, I end up doing draping because of my balloon work, because sometimes I have like a client will send an inspo that includes the draping and stuff like that. And that's how I kind of build up my inventory with the draping. I've never taken a draping class. I usually just watch a video, maybe on YouTube, or sometime I'll see them on Instagram or TikTok, of people doing their draping. Um, it's For the most part, doing basic draping is pretty easy. You just need the right equipment. So, like a professional pipe and drape kit, and just good drapes. Like, I started out with not so good drapes. Um, a lot of my drapes were like 8 feet tall, and I realized later on that they were too short because certain design you can't do with that. Like, if you're just doing like a straight backdrop, just the colors, or maybe a little, tie to the side or something, it's okay. But when you're doing like trying to do those elaborate draping, like, you definitely need longer drapes, at least 12 feet um of drapes to do those more elaborate looking, where you could, drape them, or oh my gosh, draping is another level. Okay, so they have the single layer drape, then they have the double layer drapes, then they have the 3 layer drapes. That's when it's like really full and you just see a lot of draping going everywhere. Like, I've not gone to that level. I just try my hardest to just, whenever I do book a client that wants drapes, I try to go online and see how much pieces of each color I need to create a specific look. Um, and that's basically how I do it. Like, I don't really have a lot of experience in the drapes. I just drape to for it look good enough to put my balloons on there and keep it moving. So that's not my strong suit there. Um, okay, Kelly's asking, how can you get a hard copy of your ebook? Okay, so honestly, and this is why I haven't offered it, because it's not cheap to get this thing printed. Um, The actual ebook is a 5 by 7. This is the regular 8.5 by 11. Um, I did just order this through Canva. So, the link, if you do purchase the book, it opens up in Canva, and you could just print it through Canva if you want. I did go extra and put like the binding and all this extra stuff. You don't have to, but I did pay like $49 to print this book. So I wouldn't be, and also because it's a lot of color and it's laminated, the little cover on the front. to protect it. It's also in the back. What I'm trying to do is, but I'm still working on, I'm trying to get it on Amazon and on um what's that store called? I can't remember right now from the top of my head. But I'm trying to get it on Amazon where they would offer the print version of it. It's just that I have to do it on the Kindle, and the format that I had it in when I created in Canva is not compatible with the Kindle format. So I'm in the process of redoing the format so it could fit on the Kindle app, and so they'll be able to offer the hard copy of it. So while this one is nice and pretty and full of color, because it's very, I'm not gonna lie, it's very vibrant. It's, oh, look at me. I'm so cute with my camera. To show you that I don't do lives, guys. This is sorry. I don't do lives. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this. There. So this is all these um for each chapter, each chapter has a cover from my actual setup that I did. Okay, and you see, this chapter is about balloon fillers, so we kind of go into different type of fillers that you could do for your balloons and stuff like that. Um, it goes through a lot of stuff, guys. I give like sample of a balloon menu. This is my actual balloon menu that I use for graduation. The pricing need to be updated because I don't actually charge these prices anymore. But this was like a sample. Um, I do have a pricing. Let's see if I can find that. I have a pricing guide in here. Oh, Lord. Show you how to price or a way you could price your balloon. Um, yes, summer. Okay, pricing balloon garlands. If anybody wanna take a screenshot, or you could always go back and rewatch. It's just like a guide for you of how, like a breakdown of how you could actually price your balloons. And this is why I was saying you can't just throw. I can't when you comment on my video and asking me how much would something like this charge. First of all, I'm not gonna put out the whatever I charge my clients on there because that causes problems. Because when one client, I have my clients that go and watch my YouTube channel. Okay, I don't want people over there fighting about pricing because some people just don't understand that your design is different from this person's design. And this person might have florals in their design or the rope fillers, or so of course there's going to be a little bit more than what I charge this person. And some people just don't understand that. Some people just don't understand that. So um, for that reason, I try my best not to talk about pricing on YouTube, like giving an actual price. I'll give you a range of what you could charge, but then like I said, it's dependent on where you are, what they're charging in your area. I'm over here in Atlanta, they probably charge you $50 a square foot. I can't complain. That's what they're charging maybe over in that area. That's not what we're charging in New Jersey. So, I can't just throw things out there because I don't want you to underprice yourself, or overcharge people. And then now you're saying, well, he's pointing the finger that I told you that this is how much I can't tell you what to charge. You charge what you think, what you feel your work is worth. And like I said, you got to factor in other things like your travel. If you're gonna apply balloon shine to the setup, if you're doing an outdoor setup, you could charge outdoor fee because of course you're gonna be out there in the hot sun melting with the balloons. So of course a lot of different factors go into pricing. So it's not just a $25 a square foot. Even if you're say okay, you're gonna break down and say I'm gonna charge $25 square foot, then you still have to calculate the other factors that I just mentioned. So, all right, let's see. For the garland, do you also charge them? Okay, so no, when I charge for the garland, that's including my labor. The only thing I charge separate is like my travel fee. So whenever I quote my clients, so basically say for instance they want a basic garland and be like, okay, $25 square foot. I'm charging you $25 square foot. That's including my fee, my setup fee. Now, the other fee that they'll get charged is a travel fee. So, depending on where you are, I'm going to charge you a travel fee for wherever I have to drive to. If I have to come back and break down that setup, you're going to get charged a striking fee and a return trip. Um, if it's outdoor, you're going to get charged an outdoor surcharge. If you're doing, if you want to apply balloon shine, you're going to get a fee separate for that. Because I don't, um, what do you call it? I usually just kind of break everything down so they have the option to take things out that they don't want. So, for instance, if you decide, oh, I don't want balloon shine, okay, you can take off your balloon shine, take that out. Um, I don't want you to come back and strike the balloons. I'll strike them myself. Okay, I'll take out a striking fee. But yeah, generally when I do the per square foot, I usually add. I mean, the set of fees already included in that. Let me see. Go back to that. Mm, just trying to find that page again. Right, so that's so much going on with this book. Okay, so basically, this is the breakdown. Material costs. So this is just sample of materials. It depending on what you're using, that would either be higher or lower. Labor costs. Okay, this is just a breakdown, which is gonna come down to the end to determine how much you're charging for the square foot. So whatever the total is, you just divide it by how many square feet you're doing, and that will tell you how much you're charging per square foot. So it depends on how much you want to charge for your profit and all that stuff. So hopefully that answer that question. I find that to be the easiest way to do the pricing, to be honest. Just having like a flat, depending on what they're getting. If you're doing once you're doing balloons for a while, you'll get to the point where okay, you understand. Okay, this is how much my materials are gonna cost. You already determine. Okay, this balloon garland is probably going to take me 3 hours or 4 hours to do. Normally, and 3 hour 4 hours doesn't mean on site. It means overall, like from the moment you book the client, you start inflating your balloons, doing all of that stuff. That's how I calculate how much hours. And then you probably do maybe 1 to 2 hour at the venue, depending how much you have prepped. um I usually try to prep most of my stuff at home, so when I go to this actual setup, I'm not there forever. Like, I see people sitting there inflating their balloons. I'm not like, why would you even want to be here doing that? Like, I'd rather be in front of my TV just watching something and just doing my balloons. I'm not thinking about it. Doesn't feel like I'm doing work. Um, yeah, it's too much pressure when you do that on site. And a lot of times, if you don't do your fillers ahead of time, forget it. So let me see. So yes, to answer your question, yes, no, sorry, no, I don't charge separate for labor. I charge separate for travel and all those other things, breakdown or return trip or striking, stuff like that. Um, how do you get clients? Oh, I guess I must have missed that one. Okay, so how do I get clients? Okay, so initially, if you're starting out, I would say you just have to start posting stuff initially. Um, what I've learned from doing this business is that your family and friends are not going to be the ones that's supporting your business. Not saying that they don't support what you do, but it's usually outside people that support your business. A lot of times when you're starting your business, your family or your friends don't really um, see the vision, um, until you actually get out there and they say, "Oh, wow, okay, I didn't know you could do that with balloons and make that money with balloons or whatever." Um, it's one of those things that you just got to go out there and put yourself out there. Um, when I started out, it was during COVID, and I lost my job, and my daughter was like 8 months, and we were just home, and I got really bored because I'm used to always working. I've been working since I was like 16, and I've been working ever since. So for me, it was just like being home was not what I wanted. It was boring, even though my daughter, she was so young, there was nothing much that I could do with her. And that's how I end up starting doing the balloons. Like I just start watching videos and stuff. Um, I just wanted something to kind of preoccupy my time during the day while she was sleeping or whatever. And I started watching the videos on YouTube. And from there, I I think it was like I just start making little things. Like I'll make a little centerpiece. And at the time, my Instagram page was my personal page. And I was like, I'm just gonna convert this personal page to a business page. So that's how I started. I converted my personal page to a business page. So I would say first thing you need to do is create a business page. Don't post on your regular page. You can post on your regular page, but you also need a business page because people are going to take it more seriously when you present yourself as a business. So I converted my page. I didn't delete it or anything. I just converted because what happened was like I didn't want to lose the followers that I already have on Instagram. So I just changed the name of my page and converted the settings to like a business page. And that way I was able to keep all the people that was already on my page. So when I started posting stuff, I already had that following. So, people started seeing my stuff. And then one day, that was my daughter's birthday. I did like, it was during COVID. So we were doing like the little backdrops in the house with the balloons. And I posted on Instagram, and that was like the best ones that I had done. And so I posted on Instagram, and one of my friends from that I went to high school with, she commented on there, and she was like, "Oh, I hope you charge for this setup or whatever, something of the sort." She was like, "This is beautiful. I hope you charge for it," because she didn't know it was for my daughter. She thought it was an event that I did for somebody else. And honestly, that was the one comment that fueled the fire for me to start doing this professionally. I was like, wow, somebody actually values my work. And even though back then it wasn't good, because I could honestly go back now and look at it and I laugh at myself at times and I was like, wow, what was I thinking? But sometimes you just need to take that leap and that little step and go out there and put yourself out there. So that's what I did. And from that point on, without even having like a client, I just started creating, like practicing. Every time I did something, I would post it on there. And I'll just put comments, like put like my little thing, like my setup from this weekend. It's kind of like a fake it till you make it situation. So pretty much that's what it was. Fake it till you make it. I was basically pretending that I was getting real jobs. And people start interacting with my posts and stuff like that. And then I remember the first person that reached out to me, and it was, of course, it was during COVID, and they were like, "Oh, my daughter's birthday is coming up. I want to do something for her, but because of the COVID, can't come in the house or whatever." She's like, We want to do like a drive-by birthday party," and I was like, What do you mean?" She's like, "I want to do have like the balloons set up outside, like a nice balloon garland with a happy birthday backdrop, and our family members, they're just gonna drive by and like take photos with the backdrop or whatever, and you know and leave. They're not gonna stay." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's a pretty cool idea." And honestly, a lot of people were doing that during COVID. all these drive by like for graduation, all these things. People were staying in their cars and just, taking pictures of the backdrop. And literally, that's how I got started. So I did that setup. And then from that point on, I started getting bookings, small bookings here and there. But to be honest, a lot of my bookings are referrals. Up to this day, majority of my clients, majority of my bookings are repeat clients. So even now, where it's, I don't know, and I know everybody's suffering in this industry right now, to be honest, because people are so uncertain and they don't want to spend money on things that are not necessary. Not saying events aren't, but people are going to prioritize dinner. They're going to prioritize their rent. They're going to prioritize all those things over having a party. So, you know, a lot of my clients are repeat clients, and that's how I kept my business running because my quality of work that I do, you know, I have people that recommend me to other people. The graduation party I just did the other day that was outdoor. This recommendation was from one of my previous clients. She also referred me to another person that she booked me multiple times for multiple events. And every time I do something for one person, it's like they're referring me out to somebody in their family or some friends or some church group or at a school. So, I mean, eventually you get to that point, and that's really where you want to be because at times like this, when it's really slow, you want to have somewhere where the business is coming from. Like what I recently did um, was got myself on a vendor list for my daughter's school. I've been working with them for years doing I was just doing their holiday parties and um it went from just the holiday party to then she started booking me for the summer event. Then it went from the holiday party to summer event. So now she's booking me for this fall event. And then last year she was like, "Oh, next year I'm gonna have more events for you." So she started off this year with like two or three different events on top of the three that I was already doing for her. So it was already building up. And then to bring that a little further, I reached out to her and I was like, I'm trying to get on the vendor list for um my daughter's school because it's 14 campuses. So they have 14 different campuses that I could get booked from. And like within like a day or two, the lady reached out to me and she's like, it's all set. I shared your information to all the schools. So whenever they need stuff, they'll reach out to you directly. So that was a pretty big deal for me. But and that also opened up a lot at the door for me to have more bookings. Because these schools are they're not booking when they book you, they're not booking you for some little small jobs. Here and there you'll have like smaller scale jobs. But majority of this stuff is like big setups. So that's a big deal for me. And sometimes you just gotta put yourself out there because even though this lady was booking me for all these events, she never ever considered to put me as a vendor. So if I didn't ask to be a vendor, I wouldn't even know that that was available. That was a thing that they were doing there. So sometimes you just gotta ask for what you want. And the worst they could say is no, and you just move on to the next one. But what if they say yes? Like in my scenario, and now I have different school reaching out to me for different things. Um, and yeah, it's good. But that's pretty much how you get your clients. Um you could do social media marketing. You could do ads if you. I mean, ads are gonna cost you money. I recently started doing treats for my daughter. So I have a treats business also on the side. So when I say I've been busy, guys, I've been pretty busy. Okay, so um, back in December, I decided to expand a little bit. I was like, I wanna because, like I said, the event side is really slowing down on my side, and the event part of it is a huge chunk. It's a lot of work. And I remember I don't know, everybody don't watch all the videos on my channel, but I was in a car accident last October and I was out for was like 4 months. I was out with like a back injury. So during that time, I decided, I kind of wanted to just steer away from the events for a sec because I didn't have a lot of help because two of the girls that were working with me, they had the babies, so they weren't available anymore to be working on like this full time, not really full time, but whenever I needed them because now they're preoccupied with their kids. And then the one other person that I had that was helping me. Sometimes she'll bring her friends or whatever. She decided she want to part ways and start her own business. So yeah, then I'm left with just me alone. And thank God I have two older kids that I could drag everywhere with me to help me out. Um, but yeah, so I started the treats for my daughter because she wanted to do it. And she's 7 now. So it's not like I'm not expecting her to be doing the treats on her own. But I feel like it's something that I could give her a head start in and kind of just build it up and promote it and get it to a place where eventually if she gets older and she's interested in it, I could hand it off. But so far so good. We've been doing really good with that. But even for that page, I created a brand new page, and what I did was I paid for market like ads on Instagram, and I receive a lot of following from that. But you know, sometimes you just gotta put the money in. To be honest, if you want to throw it out there, the platform that people sleep on the most is Google. Like if you are a business owner and you don't have a Google profile, trust me, it's because think about it. If you're only on social media, nobody's gonna. If social media should shut down, God forbid something happen and social media is down, say a day. I don't even know if we could go a day without social media at this point. But if that should shut down completely, where are your customers gonna find you? Apart from there, you have to have other areas. So I would say Facebook Marketplace is a good place to promote your business. They have different groups that you could promote your business in. Like I joined like on Facebook, I joined like balloon groups, event planning groups. Like I'm in New Jersey, so we have like Black Owned New Jersey, which is like a group just for Black um, small business owners. They have so many different groups. They have groups on there for draping. So like the question earlier about a draping, you could go on Facebook and join one of those groups. They have groups on there like for Canva, for Cricut. If you have a Cricut and want to learn how to use your Cricut machine, you could go on there. If you're into like foam board props and stuff like that, they have groups for that. So there's literally like I would say Facebook is one of the best places to go to promote your business or to join these groups to get jobs. Like I could go on Black Owned New Jersey, or you could join. They have a lot of mom groups. Those are some of the best groups to be in because people are always looking for recommendations for like event planners, balloon artists, DJs, anything you could think of. There's always somebody looking for something. But I go into Black Owned New Jersey and I get a lot of I see a lot of people up there asking for balloon artists. The only thing is that you go up there, you have to be quick with it because you'll see something post like 5 minutes ago and there'll be like 40 people that responded. So for the person that's posting now, it's overwhelming for them to go through and choose. But the best way to do if you're on one of those groups is to message them directly. Don't go in the comments and put your oh me, I'm interested, blah 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 blah. I wouldn't do that. My recommendation is to send a message directly to the person that's asking because they're gonna if you're going to the message there's probably like a few people that decide to message and a lot of times they prefer somebody that's more direct like that that's gonna message them and instead of them having to scroll through that entire list of comments. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, definitely create a Google page. And when you create the Google page, make sure you um make sure you, what do you call it? Post pictures on there. Post your pictures on there, and um what any videos that you have, just keep posting, because the key on Google, you have to try to be in the top 5. When people are searching without you having to pay to be on the sponsored list, you want people search event planners in New Jersey. You want to pop up in the top 5, or balloon artists in New Jersey. You want to pop up in the top 5, because those are the ones that people are going to see, or they feel like because those are in the top 5, these are highly recommended. Um, Most of the time, people only see the first top 5 of what the Google suggests. They don't really scroll down. Um, but yeah, try to be in the top 5 on Google by posting videos, posting pictures, sharing your Google link to get feedback from your clients. So what I usually, and I haven't been doing this, but you have to, whenever you do a setup, and this is because I have a lot of repeat clients, so I don't really be sending the survey, a review for them to write a review all the time. I used to do it when I just started out, and I got my reviews all 5 stars, which is good enough for me. But people want to see recent stuff. They want to see that you're consistent and you're still keeping up with that 5-star service. So you want to, whenever you have a client that do a job, like maybe a day or two later, I usually reach out to them like the next day and just thank them again, and appreciate working with you again. Hope to work with you again in the future. Sometime I offer like a coupon or a discount, on your next setup. I'll offer you 15% off your next balloon setup or whatever, something like that. And then I'll put the review thing. You feel free to leave a rating or a review on Google, and I attach the link. So they'll go in there and not everybody's going to do the review, obviously, but there are people out there that will do the review and will give you a good rating. So that's important to go up in there and, you know, ask for the reviews. All right, let's see. Okay, Shad, I see you, girl. Thank you. All right, let's see. Uh, okay, so somebody's asking. Okay, I already answered that. Do you charge separate for labor? No, I don't. I included in my price, whatever I'm charging a square foot, it's already included in that. I charge for delivery and all that other stuff. Um, are you open to critiquing work? Absolutely. I've so since I've started my balloon class, I've created like just a group on my phone with all the girls in there, and every now and then I go in there and beat them up because I'm like, "Hello, I hope it's because you guys are booked and busy. Why I'm not seeing any sample of your work and stuff like that?" Because honestly, some people, they do the balloon class and they don't really want to hear from you again. They don't care. They just want give you the class. I got my money. Bye. But I feel like, if somebody's investing money into something, is because they're interested in it. And I feel like sometimes people do need that support to get them to the next level. So even like in one of my last videos, the one that I did was that baby shower. I had one of the mentees assisting me that day because she took 2 of my class, and she needed some extra boost. And she reached out to me and she asked, if it was okay for her to come and kind of like shadow me and get some more hands-on experience. I was like, sure, because at the end of the day, we're all here to help each other, right? And sometimes people do just need that little extra push, a little extra support to get them to where they need to be. Not everybody's just gonna jump up and be out there being confident and all of that. Sometimes people just need a little bit of support, a little bit of push to kind of push them out there. So that's what I gave her, that little extra push. But I also go into the group and all the people that I've not seen posting anything. I'm like, I need to see what you guys are doing. Post in the group where everybody's here as a group. Post what you've been doing so everybody could see. Because then when I do give the feedback, everybody will be able to benefit from the feedback. So it's not like it's just a one-on-one thing where I'm just helping this one person and the others are not getting help. When I post in the group chat, everybody and I go, I don't hold anything back. I go in and I'm like, listen, this is nice and all, but where are your fillers? I don't see any fillers. We're not doing shortcuts. We're not doing all of that. When you guys took the class, I was very clear. Like, this is what make the garland look good. You just tying a bunch of balloons together. People are not gonna be satisfied with that. There's people out there that will give you hell if they're not satisfied. There's just difficult people like that. I've seen people come on Instagram complaining that people, their client wasn't happy with their work. They have to refund them money because they were saying it was basic and it was this and it was that. And I was like, when I do look at it, I'm like, well, it is kind of basic based off of the inspiration that you're showing everybody on Instagram and what you gave the lady. I see why she's upset. It's not it's not matching up. So I beat them up, tell them to come and show me your work. I let them know this you need another cluster down there. You need to add some larger balloons in there. Whatever it is, I give it to them. And they take the feedback because that's what you're there for. You want me to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. That's one thing I'm good at. I'm a Scorpio. Uh, all right. How do you charge for your equipment, shear walls, pipe and drape, etc.? All right. So I don't really have a lot of equipment. So let me tell you what I do have that I charge and what I charge for them. Um, I have shimmer walls, 8x8. I usually shimmer walls here in New Jersey, and I'm basing it based off of what the actual rental companies are charging. Um, except I'm not charging you a delivery fee. So let me just put that in perspective real quick. So my shimmer walls, I charge $300. It's $300 for the shimmer wall. It's 8x8. I bring it, I set it up, I go back and I break it down. And so that's 300 flat. If I have to outsource the shimmer wall to a third party company, it's going to be $300 or 350 for the wall, and then it's going to be like a 120 to 150 for the delivery. So this is why I don't feel no type of way charging 300, because I mean that's the average that people charge anyways. So shimmer wall I charge 300. My grass wall I charge 250. The flower wall I charge 300. And pipe and drape. Okay, so if they're just getting the equipment, just the stand, I charge like $45 for the set for a 10 by, well, mine goes 12 feet, but just say 10 by 10 set. If they're if they want drapes, so they could get like a basic drape just to cover the background, it will be um 75 $75 for the stand, and they get three drape, which is about 15 feet of draping. Um, the Chiro walls, I only have the um the metal ones. I don't have like the wooden walls. I just don't have anywhere to store that stuff. Plus, it's labor intensive to have to carry all that stuff with no help. So I try to go, stick to like the lightweight stuff that I know is easy if I'm gonna set up by myself. I won't have to struggle with stuff. Um, but for the metal walls, I usually do it as a set, like so the wall and the cover. So depending on what kind of cover they're getting. So for instance, if they're getting like a plain cover, I'm just gonna charge um anywhere, I would say anywhere from $60 to $100 per arch. depending on what the cover is. If it's like a plain cover, it'll probably be like $60 for one wall. And then if they're getting like a printed wall where I have to, spend more money to get that wall or to get it printed, it's probably be like a hundreds end. And then if they're getting a printed wall with a decal where I have to cut on my Cricut and iron on, it's probably around the 120 range. So that's usually how I price it out. I do offer like packages on my website. So if they do want to get like a package deal where they get the choice of any of these walls already included in the package, with the balloon garland and the full setup, table setup, centerpieces, all of that stuff. Um, those are usually the best options for clients to choose from. But some people just want balloons. So then when they want balloons, then I have to price it out like that. Um, what else do I have? I think that's pretty much it with what I'm offering. And honestly, for me, the arch walls, I offer those just to kind of streamline stuff on my end and for the clients, because a lot of times they end up spending so much more money getting the wooden stuff and with the delivery fee and all that stuff. I try to offer stuff that I see, okay, they could save some money here. But at the same time, I'm benefiting from this because now instead of you outsourcing that to a third party, it's coming this way. So it's a win-win on both ends. They pay less and they still get the same look. And that's good for everybody. Um, what do we get? Let's see. Okay, I already answered that. Okay, what equipment is essential when first starting your business? Oh, child, you're gonna need some equipment. I'm kidding. Essential, a balloon pump. Um, Depending on how good you are at eyeballing balloons, you might need a balloon sizer. You need some 260 balloons. That's what you're gonna be using to install your garland on surfaces. You need some spring clamps, um, some gaffer's tape, like basic stuff in the beginning if you're just starting out. But it depends on what you're doing your installations on. Like right now, I just upgraded my my bag. Um, I got me a nicer, bigger one, and I do have like a big cart that I got from Lowe's that I used to like roll around with, but it tends to it accumulates a lot of stuff, and then it gets really heavy. And sometimes when I'm going on setups, I really don't have space in the truck to put it, so I just kind of park it one side, and now I'm just moving around. What I did, I went to Amazon and got me one of those um cleaning bags, like the cleaning service. They have those bags with the pockets and all that stuff. I got me one of those recently and it's been working out pretty good. But you definitely need a balloon pump. It doesn't need to be I've been doing this for 6 years and I still don't have a professional balloon pump and I'm doing just fine. You could buy a regular balloon pump from Amazon. I do have Amazon um storefront that a lot of the stuff that I use on Amazon I posted in there because I do get a lot of questions about where I get this, where I get that. So anything that I do purchase from Amazon, I have a storefront that you could go on. It's in the description section of my videos. And you could pretty much find anything that I've used from Amazon, even if it's like, say, a neon sign, arch cover, um, anything that centerpieces, if you're on more to geared to the event side of things. I have centerpieces stand on there, drapes, the type of drapes that I would recommend now that I know what to do. So I'm trying to just give you guys like the stuff that I know, essential stuff. Um, but yeah, definitely some spring clamps. Um, Definitely some type of tape, whether it be like gaffer's tape. It's always good to have double side tape. I use the U glue. Um, they have like a U glue kind of tape strip. You could use like a what's that? The um Gorilla Glue double side tape. That's good for some stuff. Just basic stuff. to be honest. Your balloons, definitely, if you're doing it professionally, get commercial grade balloons. If you're just practicing, Amazon balloons are fine. Just don't buy the balloon kit. The balloon kits, they don't have enough balloons to do anything. So, and they're not the right size. The balloons that they offer in the balloon kits are like 9-inch balloons. Like you get a bunch of those and maybe like 20, 12-inch balloons. Like, what am I going to do? What am I building with this? you know? And the 5-inch balloons. I don't use 5-inch balloons in any of my garlands. I only use 12-inch and up. That's it. So my 12-inch balloons is what I use to create my 5-inch fillers. I have a video on that on my channel if you guys are interested in learning how to twist those 12-inch balloons into 5-inch balloons. You could do that. I like that better because they just look so much better in the garland. They sit better in the garland. I don't have to keep moving the balloon around trying to hide the neck that's sticking out from those 5-inch balloons. They're much looser, the 5-inch balloons. I don't like them. And it's just too much, it's too tedious for me to keep inflating them. And I feel like that was the big thing for me to the inflation part of it. I don't like that part. So I just kind of just skipped right over that and went straight to the 12-inch. And I was like, I need to learn how to do this twisting method. And thank God I learned. And yeah, some people learn fast, but it's a little hard. I'm not gonna lie. It takes practice to get to that point where you could just do it without even thinking about it. But yep, and I'll show you. I think I do. Let's see. Make sure I don't think I'm missing anything in the basic stuff. But I do have in my book here. um, I do have a list of things. So if anybody's interested in the book, it's linked in the description section of the videos. Um, oh God, what I so many pages in this thing. Hmm. So all the questions that you guys are asking too is also in the book about like um how to promote your business, how to market your business. I have stuff in here about client retention, how to register your business. It pretty much goes over everything that you need to know to become a balloon artist. So, okay, okay. Those go over all the equipments and tools that you need. Oh, I didn't say this one, but a ladder. Definitely have that one. We don't want Marie coming for us. She always coming for me for the ladders. I want You definitely need a scissors, some zip ties if you have. Transport bags would be good to have, which is those big clear bags. You could just get like mattress bags. A lot of people have all these fancy stuff that they be using. You don't really need all of that stuff. Um, I have a set that I bought recently from Amazon that's also linked in the shop. It comes with like 5 bags, but they're like I would say they're about equivalent to like a twin size mattress bag. So it kind of turns out cheaper to get those because the mattress bags they usually go like I get them from not Home Depot. I get them from um what's that place called? U-Haul. And I usually pay around $6 a bag. So yeah, if you get the one that I linked in the shop, it turns out to be a little cheaper because you get like 5 bags and I think I pay like maybe $20 or so. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to find the thing for you guys. I'm really bad at this. So many pages. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep going. When I do find it, I'll just show it to you. But I was trying to show you that page that I have with it was like a list of things. But let me see. Let me scroll down and see if there's any new questions here. Okay. I already answered that. Thank you. Yes, that's what I have to run into. Okay. So guys, come on, throw your questions out. You don't know when you're gonna see me again. Okay. Any question, I'm here to answer them. See, I'm trying to give you guys some time today. We've already been on here for an hour and 10 minutes. Okay. And I see only 7 likes. And there's 15 of you online. Hmm. Like up the live, guys. So see, this is what I was talking about earlier about the offering the discounts to customers and sending follow-ups for future bookings down here. So what they say, pricing your balloons. Mhm. Research local competitors to set competitive prices, offer package deals for larger events. What does that mean? If you're having a larger event, try to find things to add on. Okay. So if you're just doing balloons, you could offer, oh, I could offer a backdrop. Uh, I could offer you need a cake table. I could do the nice dessert table. You want centerpieces? I could do balloon centerpiece. You try to find ways to mark up that money, get more out of that booking. Because, like I said, a lot of times they don't know that you offer these things. See, for instance, I told you guys I started the treats business, right? So now when I book treats, I'm automatically going to throw in, do you want a decorated dessert table? I'll come in, I set up the table. I could offer you a backdrop behind that table. Do you want to add a balloon garland to that backdrop? I come in and I'll set up the display and everything. Just find ways to mark it up. Right. So this is this is my dragon that I did. This is when I was working for and with Amazon. How cool is that? I think to this day, this is the most creative thing I've done with balloons. And let me tell you how scared I was doing this. This is for the question earlier about how do you go about taking big jobs? This was one of my worst nightmares. And I couldn't even give them an answer on the spot. I was like, I need to go home and think about this. I need to actually go home and analyze this because all I got was a side profile of this, just a side picture. And I had to go in and kind of figure out how I'm gonna create this look. We should put the entire picture in there. It's a dragon. This is just the head, but there was a body. It was actually a arch going all the way over, and then a tail. And that was from this point on. That's been my most what do you call it? Difficult, most nerve wracking job. But it was received very well, and this setup right here, this thing right here, this boosted my confidence so much in this balloon world. You have no idea. When I did this and I saw the outcome, when I finally finished setting this up and I saw the outcome, I was like, wow, wow. And this is not my expertise. I'm not into creating like sculptures and stuff like that. That's not my thing. But when I did this, my confidence went through the roof for sure. Let me see what else I want to. Yeah. So this trying to see. There's so much stuff in here. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. Let's see. So, I still can't find a picture, but I did give you like same thing that I said. Materials needed. Let's see, your balloons, your pump, 260 balloons or fishing wire, adhesive hooks or gaffer's tape, fillers, which obviously whatever your type of fillers you're gonna use to your balloon sizer, storage bags, step-by-step instructions. I don't know why I put that. I guess for your setup. So there was a question. I was talking about this earlier about the social media. Okay. Okay. So this was just a social, how to use social media to influence your sales. Okay. So there's some things there like content creation, engagement, like just don't have people waiting 3 days for you to respond to a message and stuff like that. You know, just little things here and there. Or basically just giving you a breakdown of everything. And I do have like these notes pages. So you could take, put your little notes down. Um, yeah, so this is what I was just talking about, you know, bundling the services, finding ways to add on stuff. Okay. Selling your balloon. And see, I put there offering value packed enhancement. Just showing you ways how to, so there's like other things that you could add on, plurals, lighting, that type of stuff. Just kind of enhance it. Okay, so let's see. Do you make your characters for your backdrops? And if so, where do you print them or purchase them from? Okay, so yes. Depending on the backdrop that I'm doing, um, if it's just like if it's like one of those big arches, like foam board arches, I usually get that printed like through a local vendor. But I do create the graphics for all that stuff using Canva. So majority of the backdrops that you've seen on my setups, um, I created the graphics for them. Even the one that I printed for that baby shower with the photo, she sent me the photo and I created the board and I put the word in and everything, and then I get it printed. Um, the one for the grad with the kid that was graduating going to Keen, I created those. All of those I created them in Canva. Now, depending on what it is, all right. For instance, like those larger boards, I usually create the file, download the PNG file, and then I'll upload it to whoever the vendor is. So whether it be a local vendor or website, I'll upload those files and they'll print it on those larger boards. But if I'm just doing something on a small scale, for instance, if I don't know if you watched the FIFA World Cup setup that I did, and I had those signage, like those I did myself. And for that, what I did was I created the graphics in Canva. So basically, you could either get them from Etsy, like a PNG file from Etsy, or you could just go on Google. You could go Google and search like PNG files. Say you're looking for Mickey Mouse. You could type in Mickey Mouse PNG files, click on images, and it'll show you all the images. You want to get something that's a PNG, so that doesn't have a background. Because sometimes you'll find some that has background that looks better and you want that style, you could take that one, but when you get into Canva, you gotta remove the background from it. Um, so what I do is I took my images and I create a custom board or custom, I don't know what you call it, custom sheet, and I'll size it like 60 inches tall and like, I'm sorry, 24 inches tall by 60 inches wide. I think that's how wide I'm able to do it in Canva. Um, I'll add all my images on there and then I'll download it as a PNG file. Once I download it as a PNG file, I'll go to Walgreens online, go to their photo section, look for their banners. And when I go to banners, then I choose their 2 feet by 6 feet or they're 2 feet by 8 feet, depending on how much stuff I'm trying to print. Banners, you gotta make sure you click adhesive banner. So either 2 feet by 6 feet adhesive banner or the 2 feet by 8 feet adhesive banner. Then once you click on that, then it'll allow you to upload your image. You upload your image, you check, make sure everything is within the guidelines on there, and then it's a same day print. They print it. They usually majority of the time I go on there, they have like a 20% coupon. I'm sorry, 50% coupon. So the last time I went, the images that I was printing on a 2 by 6, it was like $51, and then with the discount, I end up getting for like $25. So, and that's $25. Then you get in three big images. So once you get the image, the print, then you have to cut it out, peel it off, stick it on your foam board. And I would recommend, if you're gonna get foam board, go to Abbey Lobby or go to Walmart. They have like the good quality foam board. You don't want the foam boards that when you're cutting with your X-Acto knife that you've seen like the jagged edges. That's not good foam board. So that means don't get your foam board from the dollar store, not Dollar Tree, not Dollar General, not 99-cent store, not from any like pharmacies. Like those are the worst foam board. Those are good for projects, like kids doing projects for school because they're not doing any cutting. If you want good foam board that you have to cut, then you have to get the good foam boards. Like I said, Hobby Lobby, that really good one. They're more on the expensive side. I usually go to Walmart and get their project boards. It's like the trifold project board, and usually just take the sides off and have that piece in the middle. Or if I need something larger, I'll just open it all out, tape those two parts that they cut, and then lay out my images on there, and then I cut it out. And then usually you could either buy from Amazon, they sell um the little stand that you could put on the back of it, or depending what it is, you could put it on a lampstand. Um, Anything that has weight on the back of it is good, especially if you're doing it outside. What I've done is like screwed my lamp pole down to like one pole and just put it on. If you want to cover the base of the pole, you could always wrap it with like a tablecloth from the dollar store. You just make a hole in the top. Um, put the tablecloth down, put the lamp pole on it, and then you could just either gather it around the pole and then cut off the excess, however you want to do it. So it kind of blends in with your decor. So yes, I usually do them myself unless I can't. Then I'll outsource it. Because they sell them on Etsy, but they're so expensive and they take so long to get delivered. So all right. How do I join the group? So the group right now is just my phone. It's just on my phone. Um, if you want, you can send me an email and I could add your number into the group. I don't have an official group. Maybe I should create an official Facebook group. I'll think about it. That's one more thing I would have to add on to my schedule. Something to monitor. Well, we'll see. But for now, if you want to join this group, then you could just send me an email. The email's in the description section. Um, and then I'll just add your phone number to the group. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Tony, Tanya Bliss. I'm just now finding you. Your work is amazing. Thank you. It's 1,200. Too little for 120 feet by 10 feet wall with drapes and balloon arch with graduation backdrop, etc. 13 tablecloth centerpieces, chair covers, 8 feet arch. Um, yeah, I think so. Yeah, 13 tablecloths, centerpieces. Yeah. Is it just tablecloths and centerpieces? And how many chair covers? And are you putting the chair covers on the chairs? And you said an 8 foot arch. I'm assuming that's a balloon arch. And then the drapes, 20 feet times 10 feet walls. The drapes and balloon arch with graduation backdrop. Yeah, I think $1,200 is a little on the low side. I mean, I would have to kind of see, um, but just by calculating the 20-foot by 10-foot walls, that's a lot of balloons. If you're gonna be putting balloons on those walls, that's a lot of balloons. And then they want 13 tablecloths with centerpieces. What type of centerpiece? Is it balloon centerpiece? Is it floral centerpiece? Um, and chair covers. How many chairs are you covering? Is it like for 80 people? I mean, with 13 tables, I'm assuming this at least 100 or more people. So yeah, I would say 1,200 is not enough. 1,200 is definitely not enough, especially if you have to set that up and break it back down. Putting chair covers is not for the weak. Okay, when I go on my events, I don't touch chair covers. That's what my workers are there for. And they every time I go on a setup and I was like, oh, there's chair covers. I see the faces just it's like sucking the life out of them. So yeah, chair covers are is definitely a lot of work. Board up balloons. I've been practicing with the 12-inch balloons. Yes, girl. Listen, once you master that 12-inch balloons, you will never look back. I remember my first balloon class, I was like, oh, it's my first class. I know these people are not gonna, you know, get it to do the 12-inch fillers and all these things. So what I did, I went on Bargain Balloons and I ordered all these bags of 5-inch balloons. And we went to the class, and that took so much time out of the class. I was like, I'm never doing this again. And never, ever, ever. Never. I was just like, nope, never doing this again. I was like, I don't even know why I put myself in that predicament to begin with. I know I don't do 5-inch balloons, but then, just trying to consider that they're new to balloons and some people are just going to stick to 5-inch balloons. Some people are not going to be, getting the 12-inch fillers and all that stuff. So, yeah, uh, learn how to do the 12-inch balloons. My second class, I went up in there with no 5-inch balloons. I was like, y'all going to learn how to do these 12-inch fillers because I am not doing 5-inch balloons. And even though that was the easier way to teach them, it just took so much more time trying to do those little. No, no. Kudos to the people that do the 5-inch balloons. I've been looking at Instagram video. I've been seeing people inflating all these 5-inch like all over the floor. Like I'm like, not me, not me. No way. Yep. So even like when I do my ropes, I use 12-inch fillers to make my ropes. Like even like my last setup with that graduation party, that blue and white setup, those ropes were made out of 12-inch balloons. Okay? 12-inch balloons. You don't need 5-inch balloons to do that. It's too tedious, time consuming. I'm telling you, once you learn those 12-inch fillers, you won't go back to 5-inch balloon. And for me, it saved me a lot of money. And like I'm a little bit more lenient with my pricing only because I've found ways to work around to make it easier for me. Um, so when I stock my inventory, it's 12-inch balloons, 18-inch balloons, and sometimes I'll either do 26-inch balloons or 36-inch balloons. I usually try to have at least three sizes in each color. Um, Sometime a new color will drop, but they only have the 12-inch available or whatever. Then that works out for me because now I could have 12-inch and 5-inch because I know how to create the 5 inches. But yeah, I don't stock 5-inch balloons. I have like two little tubs of 5-inch balloons, and that's usually I use those when I'm creating like either like those little balloon bouquets and stuff like that. Or say I run out of a color and then I go scraping in there to try to find some to make some fillers or something. But other than that, not buying them because it's the money that I'm spending on the 5-inch balloons. It's gonna take me 4 5-inch balloons to create the one filler where I could use two 12-inch balloons to create the same filler. Yeah. I'll stick to 12-inch, and it's cheaper for me because then now I don't have to buy 5-inch. I just stock more 12-inch balloons, and that's it. All right. Okay, so let's see. Tanya. I keep saying Tony. Tanya. Okay, you said 50 people. It's only way to purchase your ebook is by credit card. Four chairs per table. I'm just starting out. Well, I mean, you're just starting out, so obviously you'll learn real quick that um you're not charging correctly, but that comes through experience. Every client is different, and this one client, I always tell people like sometimes you gotta look over that the money. Like, don't think about the money that you're making. Think like for me when I'm booking clients, I'm not thinking about, oh, let me see how much I could charge this person. Like, I'm just gonna run up the bill and whatever. I don't think like that. When I'm booking people, I want you to be a client. I don't want you to just be a customer that's gonna come one time and I never see you again. I book people with the mentality that this is gonna be a client that's gonna keep coming back and rebooking me and referring me out to their friends and all of that stuff. So I don't think like that. Sometimes I get people and they be like, I really want, and especially if it's somebody that's a referral, and they want something, and obviously I could tell the people that come and just they don't appreciate what you do. They'll come in and be like, "Oh, it's just balloons," and okay, then go on Amazon and get them. Go to the party store and get it. Like, why are you coming over here for if you think it's just balloons? Obviously, you see something that you want. If it was just balloons, you wouldn't even stop on my page, right? I love when they go and be like, yeah, it's just balloons or whatever, and then they go buy the balloons off of Amazon, buy their little balloon kits, and I just sitting there waiting to see what the final result look like because I just know it's gonna be a hot mess because a lot of times people don't just because it look easy that doesn't mean it's easy. It may look easy to you when I'm doing it because I have years of experience doing it, you know, and I prepare myself. I go on set up, they're like, oh my God, you did that so fast, 30 minutes. Blah, blah, blah." I'm like, yeah, because done most of the work at home. The hardest part was done at home. Me inflating all those fillers, me doing building the base of my garland, all that stuff was done at home. So when I come here, getting straight to the point. I'm doing my installation. The most I should be doing here is making some more fillers and do all the other stuff. But yeah, I don't see why I'm supposed to be um, spending 2 hours here just because they're allowing me to be here for 2 hours. No, that's what when you so a lot of time people see your stuff and they see you do it so seamless and so fast and they don't understand this comes with experience. It's not just me watching a video and be like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then you go to try and do it and you're just starting to realize how hard it is. That I've had situations here in my house where my husband, he's we were watching TV together and I'm there inflating balloons and I'm like, help me. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I'll show you. And I'm over there just going through them so quick and so fast. And I give it to him and he's over there struggling with it. And it's like, oh, this is harder than I thought. I'm like, yeah. But that's what happened when you experience and you master something, it looks easy. But when you don't have the experience, then it's not easy. So yeah, a lot of time people see people do things and they're like, "Oh, that looks so easy." I remember I told you guys I started the treats. Okay, that was a disaster in the beginning. I remember the first day I decided, okay, I said my daughter, I was like, we're gonna practice, and I initially wanted my eldest, my stepdaughter, to do it because she's in high school, and I thought that would be good for her because she's around the high school kids. I'm like, you could sell them to your friends at school, all that stuff. And she wasn't really interested in it or whatever. And before I even started, I started watching all these videos. I kept going on different people's page and watching their little YouTube, the the Instagram reels of them doing it. And I'm like, it looks easy enough, but just knowing from what I've known with my own business, I'm like, just because it look easy doesn't mean that it's easy. And I went and I got all my stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm investing my money in this. I'm gonna do it. When I got all my stuff, buy my chocolate. The first thing of chocolate I put in the microwave burnt, burnt to crisp. It burnt so bad. I had to toss all of it, and it was like trial and error. I had to try different brands of chocolate. Then getting the chocolate to be a certain consistency is one. Then getting the coloring, put in the chocolate. Like if you have to be like oil based food coloring. It can be gel based. You can't put too much. Um, the chocolate has to, like I said, have to be a certain consistency. All this, so it was like a process trying to learn all these things. Then okay, you get the basics down. You start doing your little thing. You got your chocolate down. Then I had to change the chocolate and get a different one and all these things. But like I'm just saying this to say it's a process, you know. Just because you see look easy, that doesn't mean it's easy. A lot of times people watch my videos. People have been on here for the 2 years that I've been posting and they still not where they need to be. So it's people working at their own pace and all of that stuff. It's not that easy. So Tanya, I keep saying, I don't know why I keep saying Tony. It's like a okay, Tanya. I'm sorry. She said she got her book. Yeah, good job, girl. I see you're serious. Get that book. Yeah, guys, jump on there and get your book. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff. It's an ebook, so obviously, once you pay, you get the link right away to the book, and you'll be able to go in and see all the stuff there. And I'm working on getting it on Amazon, so we could do the printed version. But yeah, I printed mine in Canva, like I said earlier. See, I'm so bad with this. This is why I can't do live. My direction sense of directions so terrible. Okay, so this is the book. Yeah, I printed mine on Canva. It was like $49 to print. It's not cheap. And this is why I don't offer the printed version because I'm like, you know, I don't know who's going to pay. 'Cause, this obviously it's going to be more than 40. It's $49 to print the book. So yeah, that mean I would have to be charging probably like $70 to the book or something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to do it through Amazon because I feel like with Amazon, I'll be able to get it at a cheaper rate, way cheaper, because they're printing it in like mass production. So I just gotta finish working on that. Do it all myself. Okay. All right. So Tanya, good luck on that setup. Okay. You got this. 50 people is not too bad. Um, yeah, that's still definitely undercharged. But like I said, over time you'll learn through experience how to charge for certain things. What I usually try to do is not um I itemize everything. I'll try to itemize stuff so they could see exactly what they're getting charged for each thing. So it's not just this one big price that I'm charging. It's make it easier for some people. Um but yeah, like you say, you're starting out and you, you know, through experience you'll be able to figure it out. All right. So the cord up balloons is asking, do you have any tips on ceiling installs? Okay. So, I mean, ceilings can be a little tough depending on what kind of ceilings you're working with. Um, the best ceilings to work with, I would say, is a drop ceiling. If you have a drop ceiling in the space, that is key because with the drop ceiling, then you could use the mag pole and those clip magnets. Um, so it's basically a mag pole is like a pole that you could extend upwards. It has like this little hook on top for you to put these little clip magnets. So basically, a clip magnet. is a magnet that goes directly on the metal part of your drop ceiling, and then it has like this little circle part that you could tie like your fishing wire um to do your installation. So this works good for if you're doing like just regular balloons, like hanging balloons, or if you're doing garlands, So you'll put a couple of the clip magnets with your 260 balloons or your fishing wire, whichever works best, and you could use that to install your balloons. I haven't really done a lot of ceiling installation. My main um stuff that I've done with ceiling is usually directly above my balloon garland. It may be cascading out a little bit, but nothing too like crazy. I've not really, because the thing is, ceilings installs are not cheap. Um, People love ceiling install, but they don't want to pay. So I've had people reach out about doing ceiling installation, but when they get the price and then they were like, no, too much or whatever, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be stressing myself out to do this ceiling install for nothing because it's you being up and down on ladders, or you have to rent one of those lift thing to drive around and to lift, and you have to learn how to operate that. It's a lot that goes into it. So my easiest way whenever I'm doing anything with ceilings, mag pole, which this way I stay on the ground, I extend my pole, put my little magnet, tie balloons on it before I put it up, put it on the magnet, and just put them in the area. Like if you're doing like balloon clouds and stuff like that, that's perfect for that. Balloon garlands, it would be perfect too. The only thing is like if you're doing balloon garlands, you fill up your garland completely, add in your fillers and everything before you put it up. Because if you put it up and then you have to go in and add fillers, that's gonna take a lot of time. So yeah, definitely get a mag pole if you're doing or if you're interested in doing that. I have one linked in my Amazon shop. I told you guys I have everything in my Amazon shop. I have one in my Amazon shop. It's there, and the clips are there and everything that you need. Just run over to Amazon. You see everything in there. Okay, Shadiq. Shad. It's hard for real. Sounds easy. Remember KJ's fourth birthday party. Laugh out loud. This is my sister, guys. Yes. We were on um video call during this setup, teaching her how to do balloons. Yeah, it's not easy. Definitely not easy. I went to I want to sponsor a book tonight. You decide who gets it. Ooh, okay. All right, so to see you guys, my sister is sponsoring somebody in here a book. So let's see who's gonna get the book tonight. Let's see who's gonna get it. Let me see. It's gonna be somebody in the comments because yeah. All right, so Tanya already got her book, so I think we could do it. Let me see. All right, so I guess we could do decored up balloons. She's active in here. Okay, let's chat. We'll give it to decored up balloons. So I could um so yeah, you can reach out to me. Um just email me. Decored up balloons are sponsoring you the book tonight. My sister Shad is sponsoring a book tonight, and I'm gonna give it to you because since Tanya already went and had got her book, I'm gonna sponsor it to you because you've been very active in this group. So just send me email so I could send you the link to the book after the or you can even send it to me now, and so this way when I get off I'll see it. Thank you, Shad. That was so nice of you, girl. You're welcome, Decorda. All right. Uh, let me see. I want them to have a great experience. No, no, the nail layers versus a real client. By no means do I want to beat anyone out there, but I'm good, but I have a lot to learn. Yeah, we all do have a lot to learn still. I've been doing this for years, and every day I'm reminded that I'm not there yet. I'm still learning. There's still people out there that, is doing it way more than me. When you can look at somebody else's work and see, like, wow, like, you're like starstruck. It's just remind you that you're not there yet. But given the opportunity, you'll get there. A lot of times it's not that we're not there, it's just that we haven't had the opportunity to tap into that level, you know, because it's like you really don't know what you could do until you actually do it. So it's not that we're not there. We just haven't had that opportunity to do something so grand and, you know, because I've done a lot of balloon work, a lot of nice balloon work, a lot of beautiful balloon work, which I wish I had a YouTube channel back then. Yeah, so every day I beat myself. I'm like, damn, I wish I was taking YouTube serious back then when I was really booked and busy doing all this balloon stuff, like really elaborate stuff. Some really nice setups I've done. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of basic stuff nowadays. People don't want to spend money, but it's okay. You know, nothing stays one way forever. We know we're going through like a phase of, right now, and once everybody get back to like a safe space, the party will be out, because that's one thing for sure. In this industry, there's always opportunity to make money, and this is why a lot of people is like run into this side, because they see the opportunity to make money. You know, there's a lot of opportunity to make money doing this, and like I could attest to that, because every time I'm like saying, oh, maybe I'll go back to get a regular job and just do balloons on the side and all that stuff, I'm reminded so quickly why I should not go back to a nine. Because when I think about it, I'm like, I could book one balloon and make over $1,000 and just spend like 2 hours or 3 hours and be done. I have to work like a whole 40 hours to get a check that type of money. Some boss stressing me out, all kind of people stressing me out, babysitting people and doing all of this stuff, driving up and down all over the place. Yeah, every time I get into that mindset, I'm reminded very quickly that no, I think this is where I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I've already cemented my name. People already know me. The brand is already built. So I don't think I'm gonna. I mean, if I have to, I will. You know, but for now, I think this is where I'm staying. And it's not like I don't have an option to go out there and do something else. I do have 2 degrees. You know, so this is, you do what you love, and I love doing this. So love tapping into that creative side and just, you know, having my little fun and stuff. And the satisfaction. The satisfaction. It's not the money that, yeah, the money's always good, but that's not what really is. It's that satisfaction of the client at the end. That's what really like, you know, I'm like, wow, yes. For you to evoke those kind of emotions and feelings in people, give them like you're celebrating something that's very special. Just being a part of all of that stuff is really fulfilling. I've been to back to breakdown setups where I'm getting standing ovations, and it's a little embarrassing, I would say, but it just make me see like, okay, somebody appreciate my work. And I get a lot of bookings like that. A lot of people call me from events that they've been to and book me. They don't even like without a second thought. But it takes time, you know, to get to that place. It's not overnight. Okay. Absolutely stellar from South Jersey. Welcome. So, you guys have any more questions for me? Let me see. I've got a couple good questions tonight. You guys have been pretty active. Let me see. Okay. Do you charge a rush fee or a late fee for last minute bookings? If so, what do you consider to be a last minute booking, and how much is your rush fee, late fee slash late fee? Asking for my daughter, she can't comment. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Rush fee. If it's anything that's less than a week, there's a rush fee. And I don't go crazy with rush fees, to be honest, depending on what it is that they're you know asking for. Um, it's usually anywhere, say like $25 to $50 that I charge extra if I have to, if it's less than a week. Um, let's see, last minute. Yeah. So $25 to $50 late rush fee or late fee. That just means that they're booking it within the week, a week time frame, which means that now you have to rush to prepare that setup, because sometimes you have other setups that you already planned out for that week, and now because they come last minute with their stuff, it's like you're squeezing them into that schedule that you already established for the week. Now you have to be either running around to get them stuff, whether it be, renting something from another vendor or ordering something online, or, stuff like that. And if I have to, on top of that, if I have to order you stuff last minute because you're booking within that window, then you're also gonna pay the rush fee for the whatever I'm ordering, because in order to get the stuff on time, sometimes you have to sometimes you have to do express shipping, and those shippings are not cheap. For example, if I was to take a booking, if I was supposed to take a booking and it's last minute and the colors that they want I don't have and I have to order it on a if I was booking it a week, if you were booked a week prior, I could have just went and ordered them and pay my regular $8 shipping fee and got it in time. But because you're booking within that week and you would need the balloons for that setup, now I have to pay the rush fee, which on bargain balloons I think is like 125 or something like that. Yeah, if the client's willing to pay the fee, then yeah, I have no problem um taking that client. But if it's something where I'm gonna have to be biting my nails, trying to see every minute I'm peeking through the window to see if is showing up, or bargain balloons or whoever the vendor is showing up, no, no. Let's see. Auntie Lily Creations. Hi, just seeing your live. Well, welcome. It's almost over. It's almost two. You missed out, but it's recorded, so you could always go back and watch it. So you won't miss anything really. You're just gonna miss the live interaction. But if you have questions, you could throw them in. I'll answer whatever questions you guys have, because I don't know when I'm gonna be back on here. To be honest, I've been trying to be on here. It's probably a year now since I've been on here. Damn, that sounds bad. I'm gonna try my best to come up here at least every quarter. Every quarter, I'll see. I'll try whenever I'm available. I'll try my best to come on here. And you know what it is? I always have so much issues with the live. Like today, the live was supposed to start at 6 o'clock. When I go 6 o'clock to hit go live, the thing was like blocked out. It's saying that I'm streaming some using some streaming platform, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't set that up. I don't even know what it was talking about. So what I had to do was I had to go and cancel the first live that was at 6 and went and created a new live for 6:05. So I'll be able to do this one. So I guess I'm just got to pay attention when I'm creating the live to make sure that I hit webcam, because I went earlier today and canceled on the first live that I set up because I noticed it says mobile. Like I was going to be doing it on my phone. I'm like, I'm not going to be over here holding my phone up like this to do no live. So I was like, I went in and canceled that one. But so I guess because I was like, I just wasn't paying attention, it just defaulted to like some streaming platform or whatever. So I really gotta go practice with the lives. I'm not good at them. I would say I'm still new since this is like my third live. Still learning. See? Just learning. If I keep doing this, I feel like I'll be a pro in no time. All right. Auntie Lily Creations. You're an inspiration. Oh, thank you so much. And I love you too. I love all of you guys. Because honestly, like I said before, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be doing this. I've had my YouTube channel for a long while. And I wasn't really posting anything on it. Really started taking YouTube seriously 2 years now. This is my second year in YouTube. So yeah, so December was one full year. So this December will be 2 full years since I've been on YouTube consistently. So yeah, and it's because of you guys, and I really, you guys following, and I see all the comments and all this stuff, and I was like, wow, people really do need my help, because I know a lot of people do gatekeep, and I'm like, I get why they do it, because they gatekeep because they want to keep the opportunity to make money to themselves. That's why they gatekeep. You know, they don't want to share with other people, because then if they're scared that if somebody else learn, they're gonna go out there and make money, and it's gonna take away from them making money. And yeah, but I'm telling y'all all the secrets. I spill tea, telling y'all everything, and I mean, it is what it is, right? I feel like it's enough money out there for everybody. All the people on my live is not from New Jersey, right? Maybe some of you guys are from New Jersey or close to New Jersey or whatever, but what am I going to be scared? There's more people locally here that's doing balloons that I should be scared of. But listen, I don't see competition. And that's the thing. People focus on people competing too much, and it kind of blindside you from what you're doing. For me, if I see you doing good, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna like your stuff. I don't care if you're a balloon artist or whatever. I'm liking your stuff. If I see somebody over there doing like foam boards or whatever, I'm gonna try and support your business. Whatever it is, cakes. If I see you put up like a beautiful cake, I'm gonna comment and say, "Oh, the cake is beautiful" or whatever. Like, I don't understand why everything has to be competition. Like, you know, at the end of the day, maybe you could take a client, but you can't take what I've already learned and you know already know how to do. So even if you going out there and be like, oh, I'm gonna charge $25 or $35 a square foot to take a client, then go ahead. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, if you're gonna charge a client $35 and your work don't add up, you're gonna be in problems. Okay, so go right on ahead, and that's it. Okay, let's see. I seen some new people coming in here. Okay, I got Jamil LOLs. Thank you, Queen. You have inspired us all. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm inspiring you guys. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all you guys' support. Oh, look, Ursi Boo. Hi, Ursula. Long time no see, girl. And you barely caught the live. I'm doing good. How are you doing? See, absolutely. So let's see. How do you approach new clients? Do you use a form for job requests or provide a menu of what you offer? So I don't have a menu. I don't offer menus. Um, I had menus for balloon, but it's so many variations of balloons that it's kind of like hard to provide menus. Or this is how I normally do menus. So for instance, say back to school is coming up, right? I create like a menu for back to school where I offer a selection of designs that I'm offering like a special deal for back to school. That's how I do menus. I don't do like a generalized menu because I used to have that on my website, and I realized people don't really go to that page, because majority of the people that do come that inquire about balloons or events, they usually already have some kind of inspiration of what they want. Um, and then, to be honest, that's easier for me because you send me your inspo, and then I could price it out for you. Now, from that point forward, you could either, if it's within your budget, or if it's below your budget or above your budget, if you want to up your budget or whatever, then we could work other things into that. But most of the time, I usually get people already sending their info. And when I do my bookings, I do use a form. I use a Google form. Um, I have it on my Instagram. So when they go, it's like an inquiry form. It does ask a lot of specific questions because the thing is, I don't want people just randomly texting me in my inbox, how much is this? Can you give me pricing on this? Because a lot of times those people are not serious. They're just trying to get price and to run off to go compete compare it with somebody else's price. So um I usually do a form because I feel like the people that spend the time to fill the form out are serious. A lot of time people are not gonna spend the time to fill the form out because they're just shopping. But the ones that do spend the time to fill the form out, those are serious clients. Now, on the form, I do have like a part there where they could upload images. So, and I make it mandatory. So they have to upload an image or some sort of color scheme or something of that sort to kind of just narrow down what they're looking for. Because sometimes, like I said, people text and you'll get like 5 or 6 different backdrops and they have all these elements in there. And I'm like, okay, you need to pick up like 3 of them. I'm not going to be running around to give you a price on 5 of these backdrops when you're not interested in all 5. Pick your 3 best ones, and I'll price that out for you because it's a lot of work. The thing is, a lot of times people don't consider your time. A lot of the times I spend time calling vendors, getting pricing for you, researching like some materials or some stuff that I see in the photo, or whatever. We genuinely sit down and spend time with these events, whether it be balloons or actual events. And then I send you a quote, and then you never hear back from them. And I'm like, you don't respect my time. So yeah, don't send me no 5 pictures or nothing like that. Upload 1 or 2 images just to kind of get, or send me if you send me like a theme that you're interested in and you don't have an inspiration, then what I can do is, okay, this is your theme. Do you have a budget? Okay, because this helps me to determine what you could get. Because at the end of the day, my my simple and your simple is not the same simple. I'm an event planner. My simple is something else in your head. So when you say, "Oh, I just want a simple balloon garland," or "I just want a simple backdrop," or whatever, in my head, I'm thinking about all different type of designs, and while you're just over there probably thinking about a little basic garland with like a cover or something. So I was if you have a budget, let me know, or like a ballpark, just to kind of keep me, um, in a range, so I know what I could offer you. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is your theme. Do you mind if I send you some inspirations? Right? Sometimes they're open to it, sometimes they're not. So if they're not, then I'll allow them to send me whatever. Now I do offer mock-ups, so I only offer that after you book, like when you secure your date, then you can get a mock-up of what the final thing will look like. So basically, your backdrops with the balloon. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact, but just kind of give you a visual, because a lot of time people they could they can't visualize things. Not everybody have that gift of just thinking about a theme and be like, oh yeah, I could visualize, I could see that would look good together, or oh, those colors will look good together and stuff like that. Sometimes people just can't see it. So the mock-ups come in handy in that case. But mock-ups take time. All these things take time. And I'm not gonna sit down and create mock-ups for people that are not interested. That's just gonna take my mock-up and run over to the next person that's offering the lowest price. I have like a one of my neighbors, one of my neighbors reached out to me for a graduation. No, not graduation, prom, for a prom um send off outside, right out here across the street from me. Because they always see me coming out of the house with balloons, always see me coming out with all these things or whatever. So they reach out. They're interested in the balloon, but whatever. She said her budget was like $900, $1,000, something like that. All right, cool. So she accepted my invoice, my estimate, and converted to the invoice. Then she's like, "Oh, can you send me?" She sent me like a couple pictures, and she told me what she wanted from each picture, which is also okay. So I'm like, all right, cool. I could do a mock up. She wanted a mock up to kind of see what it would look like. So I went over to, she's in the apartment, took a picture of the front of the apartment because that's where it was. Uploaded in Canva, uploaded all the stuff that I was doing, give her the visual of it in front of the apartment and everything. She's like, yeah, yeah, we love it. We're gonna go with it, whatever, whatever. And then she said she emailed me back and she's like, oh, when is the deposit due? I was like, as soon as possible if you want the date. So it's a 50% deposit up front. So then she's like, okay, a couple weeks pass. Because it was like a couple weeks out. So, I'm not like in her like texting her every day trying to. I'm like, listen, if you're really serious, you'll book the date. If somebody else come, the date is gone. And that's then now you gotta figure something out. So anyways, I see the days passing by, passing by. I use QuickBooks to run my business. So automatically, whenever it's coming close to the due date, QuickBooks send out these reminders to remind them that, oh, your due date is coming, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't answer. I follow up one time and she did not respond. So I'm like, okay, I guess she don't want nothing. But I'm like, why would you go through that whole process of accepting the code, asking for a markup, doing all these things just to ghost me? You're my neighbor. Like, I'm gonna see you. Turns out that weekend that they had this prom send off, I wasn't working that weekend because it was like the weekend, it was like right after my daughter's birthday. So I wasn't working. And I came home right on time just to see them outside, setting up their little balloons and stuff. Man, me and my stepdaughter, we just sat on the step. We were just like watching everything and just laughing because I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, you could at least, okay, I get it. You're not booking. Common courtesy would have just been like, you know, we're not gonna move on with your service or whatever. No, you ghost me, and now I have to be over here. Just imagine me pulling up while they're out there trying to figure out whatever the hell that they had put up out there. Because I was just dying. I was like seriously. I understand things are hard. Okay, so I'm not judging nobody, but come on. At least a text message or email back and be like, we decided to go a different route or whatever. I wouldn't even care. But the fact that now you have to see me every time you come out your apartment, you have to see me, make eye contact and all that stuff. Like, people just don't care. But I'm like, that's my time. You wasted my time. I sat there and got you quotes for all these things, reaching out to vendors, creating a mock-up and sending it to you and all these things for you to not even email me back. And you're my neighbor. I have to see you. But yeah, that's it. People don't care. So it is what it is. All right. Let me see. Giving you your flowers. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, do you? Okay. So, um, I'm good. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Okay. Beekeeping. You cannot service the entire world. I'm in Tennessee. What's for you is for you. God will provide your gifts, your clients, money, etc. So I trust him. Yes, girl. I second that for sure. And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, you could learn the skill and do everybody gonna do things how they do it. And people are gonna like what they like and they're gonna pay for what they wanna pay for. So even when people don't book me, like I don't take it personal, I don't take it personal. I'm gonna say I don't care because obviously I am running a business, right? And your goal is to make money, right? So I'm not going to say I don't care because now, that could have been a client, but not all money is good money and not all clients are good clients. So some of them you have to just, yeah, blessing in disguise, some of them, trust me, because some of them could be a real pain. And if you're not strong, and let me tell you, I'm so nice that people take advantage of me. But I'm telling you, over the years and even like doing this business, I remember when I started out this business, people try to take advantage of me in so many different ways. I used to have this one girl that every time she booked me, she don't be paying, and I have to be hunting her down for my money. She'll pay me, and then like 2 days later it get like kicked back. This was an event planner. The payment get kicked back to her account and all this stuff. And she would just go around in circles and circles. And I was like, I don't need this. Like, you know? But it get to the point where you just gotta put your foot down and be like, no, I'm not, you're not gonna take advantage of me. And sometimes you just gotta be blunt like that. And unfortunately with me, a lot of stuff come off blunt naturally. So, you know, I try not to get to that level with people because I always try to keep it professional, like just remind myself this is your brand and this is your business. I'm not working for somebody else. So I always try to be in that mindset that I'm running a business and a brand, and I don't want to do anything to tarnish my brand or my business. So yeah, but people they don't care. They'll do anything. All right. But yeah, gatekeeping is not the way to go. All the way in Tennessee. You're gonna take my clients over in New Jersey. That's so silly. Yeah. All right. You dropped lots of gems in such a short time. Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm definitely gonna try and get on here um more often. I'll try my best because I see there's a lot of people out there that needs the help. And like I said, a lot of people are new to my channel. Well, whether you be new for 8 months or 10 months, because like I said, my last live, I think I had just hit 2,000 subscribers or 3,000. Yeah, I think so. Maybe 3,000 my last live, which was probably about a year ago. So right now we're at 13,000. So we've grown a lot since my last live. So I know a lot of people on here, have questions because I've been seeing a lot of the comments, and I was like, I need to do the live. I need to do the live because I need to address some of these comments um in a way where everybody could be beneficial in a sense. So yeah. All right. So if you guys have any more questions, throw your questions at me. I'll give you 7 more minutes. I can't believe I've been on here for 2 hours and 13 minutes already. Wow, time do fly fast. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm finally took the leap of faith and started the class, girl. Child, it was the anxiety was killing me. After that first class, I was like, oh, it was such a relief. I was like, yes, now I could go to the next one. And the next one was very successful. So now I'm trying to, I actually have the next one scheduled. It's on August 29th. I'll be doing the next class. So I'm just kind of warming myself up to it. And then we'll see. Eventually, maybe I'll start doing some like one-on-one online class. So people that really need that one-on-one stuff. But like I said, it's the in-person class is always better. But I know everybody's not obviously not in New Jersey or New York or Pennsylvania or like those surrounding areas. So yeah. Oh, so yeah, I was saying that the next class is the 29th of August. It's in Bloomfield, New Jersey. The cord of balloons. You're such an inspiration. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, but we are all in different areas. Why gatekeep? Yeah, yeah, like I said, people just I was on Instagram today. Yesterday. And I saw some like a balloon artist. She used to be an event planner. Now she's a balloon artist. And she was saying, um, people are offering balloon classes and it's like fraction of what she's charging and they're using the same method that she's using and or same technique and all that stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, everybody's learning from everybody, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, I didn't just come up with all these ideas in my head. A lot of my stuff is from inspiration that I've seen other people do. So every day everybody's copying something else that's trending. I'm like, you, instead of looking at it as like somebody's copying what you're doing or whatever, it could be, look at it as if you're an inspiration to somebody else. People always try to find the negative in everything. They don't think about, you know, oh, maybe this person look up to me and they like my work, or they're inspired by me. This is why they're doing things the way I'm doing things. Like, come on, people make a big deal about everything. Like, you're already out there. You're like well established. People know you. And I actually know a lot of other people out there, because when I saw it, I was like, wow, a lot of people up here are doing classes and they're all pretty much in the same format. And I was like, a lot of stuff that you're teaching in your class, I actually saw that before in another person class that's in Georgia. So whether it be organic that you came up with the idea of what the format is or whatever, there's other people out here doing the same thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're copying what the other person is doing. You know, people see inspiration. You could go on Instagram and just go into your little search thing and type in Mickey Mouse balloon setups. And everybody that's tagged a Mickey Mouse, put a Mickey Mouse tag on their balloon setup, is gonna pop up in that thing. A lot of time people go there for inspirations. A lot of time people, like clients, reach out to me with a specific theme that I have no clue about. I'm like, what is this? And my first thing is to do go search it up on Instagram, because I want to see what other people are doing. Like, I want to. I've never done this theme, so I need to know what I'm working with. You're not giving me inspiration. A lot of time when clients send you inspiration, it's from Instagram or from TikTok or one of those places. So it's like, it's just one big pool of everybody doing balloons and all this stuff. I don't see why people taking it personal. Like, I've done balloons. I've been doing balloons 6 years, and I've even seen my balloon work on Instagram. Not Instagram, Amazon. My entire setup on Amazon with some additional little decor in there that they're using to sell balloon kits. And I'm like, you just take my work and go put it like on something on Amazon as if it's yours. But I don't take it personal, you know. It's just very childish. But anyways, yeah, people are gonna be people, and that's it. Let me see. You got this, girl. You have the experience. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, Once you already learn and know what you're doing, then it's the teaching part is the easy part. Do you use a CRM like HoneyBook? So I don't use HoneyBook, but the one that I use is QuickBooks. I use QuickBooks. I like QuickBooks. The only thing I don't like about QuickBooks, which I wish they had, was contracts, because when I do my contracts, I have to do it as an attachment that's linked to an app that I use to sign the contracts. So it's a little bit harder for me. Wherein if it was like HoneyBook, the contracts easy to sign the contracts on there and all that stuff. But the what do you call it? QuickBooks is good because I could track everything. You track all my expenses. You do the invoice in there, your estimates in there, you have your customer section. I use MailChimp for my email marketing, which is also tied into QuickBooks. It's integrated. So MailChimp is integrated in there. And what does that have integrated? MailChimp. There's other stuff that you could integrate with QuickBooks. Trying to see, there was something else that is integrated. But anyways, I use that for everything pretty much. It runs my entire business. I could use it for payroll, when I'm paying like contract subcontractors, or I'm paying myself. Um, you could use it for timesheets. Like, obviously I don't clock in or clock out. I'm always working. So that part don't really work for me. But if I was paying somebody hourly, like an hourly employee, then that would come in handy where they could punch in and punch out, and it, you know, automatically, I could set payroll to run automatically based off of how many hours they work and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, I've been using it for about 4 years now, and the only thing that I see that they don't have is the contracts. And something that I see that they just added into QuickBooks is like the firm. Like, so now people, two things. A firm is one of them, where then now they get to be able to split their payments, but I get my money up front. So I will get my full payment up front, but then they'll pay monthly on a firm, which I thought was a good thing, especially in time like this where people are trying to, you know, conserve a little bit and maybe not make bulk like big purchases all at once. Maybe, give them monthly to pay would be a little more flexible. Um, but they also have an financing program there. So automatically any invoice that I send out that's over, I think, $1,000, they automatically get that link where they could apply for financing. So if they want to finance that 1,200 or $1,000, I'll obviously get my money up front. But then, like I said, to give them the opportunity to split their payments into 12 monthly payments. So there's a little couple perks in there that I like for my business. Does give people a lot of options. It's very good. You could have all the reports that you could run in there. It tracks like my taxes in there. So when I go to file my quarterly taxes with the IRS, everything is there broken down quarterly, how much taxes I collected that I need to turn over to the IRS. So yeah, there's a lot of perks to it. It tracks my mileage, whatever mileage that I, do on my expense. I have my business bank account that whenever I use that card, automatically it pulls in all the expense get pulled in there. So I don't have to be going in and manually adding all that stuff. So yeah, it's so far so good. At the end of the year, if you have like um what do you call it, subcontractors or whatever, it automatically send out the tax paperwork to them um, to file on their taxes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. hmm All right, so the cord up balloons. I ran into an issue with balloon colors. Do you recommend getting those balloon samplers from Tuftex and Sempertex? So um, I would always suggest getting a balloon portfolio from whichever brand that you use. Like I use Decomex, that's my main balloon brand. Sempertex is my next one. Tuftex, their colors are very pretty. I just don't like their balloons because it just doesn't give me that flexibility that I need for the balloon technique that I use. But I would say if you're not sure, it's always good once you determine which brand balloons you want to use to get like the color palettes, the book or the color chart, because right away you get a sample of each color that they offer in each like style of balloon. So whether it be like the metallic or the crystals or their chrome or whatever, you get to see it firsthand. You could take them off and inflate them to see, especially when you're trying to match up like images that clients send, or they'll be like, oh, these are my color scheme or whatever. That's perfect to have that ahead of time. What I do notice, like, it's good to have those because a lot of times when you purchase balloons, it look one way on the screen. Okay, when you see it on the screen, it might depends on your quality of your you call it, the megapixels or whatever. It might come up more vibrant or more colorful than it really is in person. So, and I always try to explain this to clients because sometimes they send like a photo over, and then I try to send them back a sample, and they'll be like, "Oh, but this color is darker here, whatever." And I'm always like, sometimes the phone is gonna give it a different look. I had this one back and forth with one event that I had because every time I take the picture and I look at the actual balloon, I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna think this is darker than it really is. And I have to be explaining to like it's not as dark as it is showing up in the picture, you know. But me just looking at the colors that you're sending me, this is the color that you need. And sometimes they give you a hard time, but for the most part, a lot of them would be like, well, you're the professional, blah blah blah, and they always end up liking it. But yeah, definitely would get a sample. You don't have to buy the bags. Just get you a color chart. Almost every professional balloon brand should have some kind of color chart. I have one. If it wasn't down in my basement, I would have showed you guys. But I also bring that to my class and I demonstrate it to the class so they could know that this is available to you. So normally I usually, before I buy a new set of balloons, you could go inflate those balloons and see if it's something you really want to invest in before you buy it. Mm, okay. I think I got all the questions so far. You guys have any other questions to me? I'm here to take your questions. Just throw them out. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's question. Any more questions, guys? I'll just drop this one last thing in there. Um, for anybody that's interested in starting a business, I would say before you do anything, make sure you check your business name before you do anything. One way of doing this is going onto your state website and they have like a directory where you could check business names because what you want to do is make sure that somebody else doesn't already have that name because now that's a problem for you. So um always check with your state website your business name before you register your business. Um what I normally do is you could um if you check its site and the website and the name is available, then you go ahead and register the business name. Um, but yeah, you definitely want to do a general search first. Make sure the name is not too similar to somebody else's name or anything like that. And then you want to secure your name on social media. So on all platforms, secure the name. So you could just go and create a business page with the name and nobody else would be able to use that name on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Um, and then from there, once you have your business registered or whatever, you could start um, using that page to promote your business. And always go to your state website to registering your business is not as hard as it seems. You have to be very mindful when you're registering your business because a lot of time you Google search how to register your business, whatever, it's like a third party thing that comes up that's going to charge you for them to register the business for you, which is something that you could do yourself. And all you'd have to is free of charge. All you have to do is pay for your registration fees, which is not a lot. I don't remember how much I paid, but I don't think it was more than $100 if it was that much. So, and you get everything, you could be able to print everything on the spot, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So register your business. Definitely need to get like a business bank account, and what do you call it? One thing that I've learned, which is the biggest mistake I made when I was doing my business, and this is all the things that you learn from being new in the business. I registered my business using my home address. So now that's now tied to my home. So if you're going to register your business, try to get like a virtual mailbox. Register using a virtual mailbox. Another thing that I've learned um, is to try and get a business email address. Reason being, when it's time, and this is why I say get a business bank account, because if you're looking for funding for your business, it's harder for you to get funding if you're using a Gmail. If you're using a Gmail, if your address is your home address, like these things kind of like set you back when you're trying to get funding for your business. And what's the last thing I would say? If you can get a business phone number or even a Google Voice number, Google Voice numbers are free instead of using your personal cell phone number. And this is only if you're intending on getting funding, like getting loans and funds for your business. If it's just a regular that you're just gonna fund it yourself, then you don't really need to do that. But the one thing I would do is definitely don't use your personal address if you don't have to. Get like a mailbox, digital mailbox. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for now. Oh wait, somebody's asking. Absolutely stellar. You said you don't charge per square foot, correct? No, I do charge per square foot. I do, but it depends. Like my square footage, my charge it fluctuates depending on what the design is. So if it's like a basic design, I would probably charge. I'm gonna charge less if it's just a regular design where I'm just putting regular fillers versus if I'm doing those rope fillers or whatever. So say for instance, if I was charging $25 square foot for a regular balloon design, if I have to do rope fillers and florals or other stuff like that, that $25 might now be $30, right? Or $35. Depends on the size. Because think about it, if you're doing like a larger garland with rope fillers, that's gonna take a lot more time to do. So, you just gotta calculate it that way. So if my charge fluctuate based off of what the design is, but I charge by square footage because I feel like to me it's the easiest way to calculate the pricing. Then I add on my delivery fee, surcharge fee if it's outside, um, striking fee or a return trip, stuff like that if they need me to come back for stuff or whatever. But yeah, I do charge by the square foot. I feel like that's the easiest way to go. But once you narrow down a formula that works, so I'll show it again as I was showing before. If you missed the first part of the live, just trying to find the person that was. So this is just a sample that I have in my book. Oh Lord, me and this thing. So basically just breaking down each section. So that end price down here, see where it says standard garland 200. This is not the actual price that I'm charging. This is just to give you an example based off the numbers here. So what you do, plug your numbers in, your labor costs, your overhead, whatever, all of that stuff. Then you're gonna come up with a total price. And then if you want to know what the square footage is, You're just gonna divide it by how much. If you want to know how much that square foot is for that garland, you divide it by how much you how much the garland, how big the garland is. So that's pretty much that's how I do it. But I don't really use this. This is just to help people that are starting out. I don't really go by this because I've already determined in my head. I've already calculated when I'm doing my setup. Like I already know if I'm gonna do well with my pricing. I offer three colors, three basic colors. So there's a lot of things that could make your price of balloon your price go up, right? If I'm adding chrome balloons, you're getting charged extra for that because chrome balloons are mad expensive, especially if it's like a main color. Um, I have people that want all chrome balloons, so they get an upcharge. So it's usually three regular colors included. If you're getting chrome, then I probably upcharge. Um, I usually upcharge if somebody add in like a chrome, I charge like $30 extra, depending on what size balloon they're getting. You said you don't check. Oh, yeah, I do. So like, yeah, Honeybook has contracts. Yeah, I know Honeybook have contracts. Um, I never really gone over to Honeybook to kind of like see what they offer. I just got really comfortable with using QuickBooks that I never even look anywhere else. Um, and just I'm just thinking about having to, you know, transfer all my stuff over to another platform and try to learn that new stuff. I'm pretty much solid right now with QuickBooks, but maybe I'll take a look into it because the contracts part I kind of figured out on my end, but I am paying extra for that software that I'm using to sign in addition to my QuickBooks subscription. So maybe it's worth looking into and see if it's something that they could do like a integration or just move everything over. That would be nice. I don't want anything that I have to download to an Excel spreadsheet and upload and all of that stuff. I don't have the patience for that stuff. All right. Any more questions, guys? All right. More questions. All right, guys. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna jump off the live. You could always go back and rewatch the live because it's recorded. If you have any questions about anything, you could just comment on my videos. Um, if you email me, I'll respond. Um, yeah, I think this was a good live. Everybody was very interactive. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to be on here. And I hope, even though I know everybody's not commenting, I hope everybody was able to um, get their questions answered. Um, but yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for always supporting my channel, for always watching my videos and, liking and commenting and interacting with it. I really, really appreciate you guys so much. And I'll do my best. I've been see how consistent I've been for this last 2 weeks. This last month I've been consistent. So I'm gonna try my best to be really, really consistent. If you guys have any suggestions of anything that you would like to see on the channel, you could just leave it, right under the comments of the live. I'll go back and check um, later on to see if anybody leave anything there. If there's specific type of videos that you want to see, or I just throw it in there, and I'll try my best to get them done for you guys. But yeah. Yes. Thank you, Ursula. Hit the like on the way out, guys. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye.